We're going to be talking about how Hollywood confronts racism, and we've chosen 4 incredible films to deal with a lot of themes that may have been controversial when they were initially released, but are also really, really relevant today.
Yeah, themes like rape, poverty, things like the Black family, how they're able to survive oppression, bigotry. Yeah, these are definitely tough subjects, but ones that needed to be put on the forefront.
Another thing these 4 movies have in common, they all come from great source material. They've all been adapted as movies, and they work.
And there also are great performances. Some award-winning, some nominated, but all great without a doubt.
It's a great, great night of looking at how America has viewed our racial divide through the lens of cinema. Hey, Jasmine, it's so good to be here with you to talk about this fantastic movie. Actually, it's one of my personal favorites, so I'm glad I'm with you because I know it's one of your personal favorites as well, and I can't wait to have a discussion with you.
It is one of my favorites, actually. So, yes, I think we're going to have a great dialogue about A Raisin in the Sun.
Yeah, it's about that family struggle, and not just the struggle, but it's about that pursuit of the American dream. And so many families deal with that pursuit, but they don't have that one tangible element that helps them achieve it.
Yes, exactly. No, the family struggle, I think everyone's going to be able to relate to over the years. This film has been one that families have sat down at their TVs and watched holiday season after holiday season all the time. So it is going to reunite families once again tonight when we watch it, I'm sure. And we've got great actors in this one. You can't,
well, it's an acting clinic.
Yes, exactly. I mean, Sidney Poitier probably has one of the best performances of his life, I feel, in this film. So without a doubt, you see strong acting that transcended years.
But you know why the movie's so good, because it was an amazing play on Broadway.
For sure. I mean, during this time, a lot of great cinema that we had, you know, came from Broadway, rather. So, yes, obviously, they were able to practice a lot on the stage for years, and then they were able to adapt it into
But the reason why
screen.
it's so good is because the play was written by Lorraine Hansberry, who was the first Black woman to have a play produced on Broadway.
Yes.
And it was A Raisin in the Sun. And then she found these incredibly talented people to bring her play to life.
Yeah, she was Black Girl Magic before the hashtag, for
Way
sure.
Before the hashtag.
Yes,
yeah, that's very true.
Yes, yeah.
But another thing that also made this movie so great is because, you know, you had Sidney Poitier and you had Claudia McNeil, who plays the mom, and he played the son.
Right, because, I mean, nothing is stronger in a family than a mother, obviously.
That's true.
She's the backbone, and so I think the way that this all played out, I think that it's really the reason why I think the film resonates so much, because the love that she has for her son and how hard she fought and wanted him to be the best that he could be, I think is what carries the film all the way to a great end.
That's why this movie's so universal, because that's every mom. You know, who doesn't have children and want them to succeed? Who doesn't want to give them that opportunity to get to the next level? And that's exactly what the whole dynamic is about. But it's also about the entire family, because when you're in pursuit of that American dream, sometimes you get one opportunity to get to the next level, to take the next generation to a better place than where you are. And that's exactly what this movie is about. I mean, you got to figure out, like, how do I bring everybody up? And that's what I love so much with the mother in the middle, which is why I can see the play initially being told from the point of view of the mother. But as we all know, Sidney Poitier is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. So it's like, you know, as they were going through the process of adapting the play into a film, I can exactly see why they would sort of like transition over to the point of view coming from the son, which was Sidney Poitier, because for my money, I mean, he's the real deal since day one.
For sure. And what a story to be told. This is definitely a coming-of-age story of a Black man during this, you know, post-racial era.
Well, it's 1961.
Yeah, really trying to understand, though, how to navigate, you know, still a racist environment and become the best version of himself that he could be.
Very true.
And so I think that that's definitely a story that hadn't been portrayed as often as we would have liked to have seen it. This was one of the first, and I think they did an excellent job of really showing the nuances of race relations.
Well, it's Black excellence. It's Black excellence on every level. I was just so disappointed that no one from this movie like won an Academy Award or even got nominated. Now, Ruby Dee, who's amazing in the movie as well. I mean, she won Best Supporting Actress from the National Board of Review, and both Claudia McNeil and Sidney Poitier received nominations from the Golden Globes, but there was no love from the Oscars. But then again, it was 1961.
It was.
So that whole trend hadn't started yet. We're still like, what, 40 years away?
Yeah.
So,
thankfully, the Oscars made up for it.
but not completely. But,
Yeah,
I mean, you
but
know,
they ended up giving Sidney an honorary.
Yeah, but he won one
Oscar,
on his,
so,
in his own right.
Yes,
but
yes, I think
just
they
thought
made up
that
for
this
their
was-
mistake.
Right, I just thought this movie is the portrayals and in the acting and the issues that this movie deals with. I mean, it deals with some really strong issues that we are even dealing with today, like abortion rights and African American
sure.
struggle with relating to Africans and, you know, being a strong, independent woman and, you know, it's old school versus new school. Like the mom is like, I'm definitely old school. We need to do it this way. And then like Sidney Poitier is, no, let's do it this way. And that clash of old school versus new school never gets old in a family dynamic.
Not at all. And I love seeing this family all living together under one roof.
I don't know about that. I get it for the point of the story. I don't want to live with that.
I think it's something that's lost in this generation. I think you actually get to see a family grow together, build together.
Okay, that's a good point.
Extend their legacy together.
So you're so nurturing. That's
I
that
think we
nurturing
have a
side
very
of you.
every man for themselves mentality. And I think what Lorraine was trying to say is that, you know, this fist is stronger when they're all pulled together.
Well, I think
Not
everyone
one.
will see your point of view and my point of view after watching this incredible movie. With a screenplay by Lorraine Hansberry based on her play from 1961, A Raisin in the Sun.
This film still makes me feel so proud and so excited to see that these performances were so well done. I just love every minute of this. Certainly seeing Sidney and all of the actors in this just really be able to unite towards the end of the film. I just loved how it just came to such a great and momentous ending. Would you agree?
I will agree with you. And I like the word that you use, proud, because I've seen the movie multiple times, and it does still give you that sense of being proud on the inside, because that's the central message of the movie, and that's what they convey so beautifully, and that's what Lorraine Hansberry was able to capture is you have this family, and despite all, what do they all have? They're always proud, and they're always strong. I mean, they have challenges, and some of the hurdles they clear, and as you clearly saw, some of the hurdles they didn't, but despite it all, they're still a proudful, all-American family trying to obtain that dream. And a lot of the hurdles that they face are still so relevant. I mean, the issues are just so relevant today. In particular, you know, the one scene where the neighborhood association approaches the family and we're like, hey, we're here, you're buying a house in our neighborhood. And a lot of families still face that today in a lot of cities all over this country. And that's just one of those scenes that no matter how many times I watch, it just creates this sense of anger that someone would go to such great lengths to prevent someone from, you know, integrating into their neighborhood based on that family's skin color. And it's all too real. And it's also one of the best moments in the movie and in the dialogue used to set up the situation and how the family deals with it all. It's just
the dialogue
whoa,
is
are you
just,
serious
it's
right
so
now?
on point. I love just seeing the moments are so special. They're so patient, I feel like, too, with what's going on. I feel like people would be a lot more angry to have that kind of situation, but you see how well they handled it, and were able, the women, obviously, of the family, I keep going back to how they seem to be so strong. And one of the things I think we can't underestimate, too, is that films of this time still showed how blacks had to turn the other cheek. We really couldn't be as boisterous and fight as much as we wanted to. So when I talk about the patience that this family has and how they were able to navigate through that situation, we know a lot of families today wouldn't have been able to, you know, to keep it as pulled together and probably would have retaliated a little bit more. But I think we see this family really pulling on their faith and drawing from the spirit of their ancestors to hold them together, to keep it all together.
And that's also called realism,
yes,
which is what I love to see in films. It was so realistic and authentic, especially for its time, but the themes still resonate even today.
For sure, for sure. We can go on and on about this one. We got to get to another amazing film. Up next, a terrific drama from 1962 featuring an Oscar-winning performance by Gregory Peck.